Hello, welcome. I'm Hannah, and I'm so excited for today because I finally got my hands on some Kaleidos products. I've been wanting to try out Kaleidos for such a long time. I mentioned this actually in the fall in a video about brands I wanted to try, and they had their Black Friday sale in the fall, and they had 20% off, which wasn't that big of a discount, but I was still interested, but then it wasn't free shipping till 100, and then I wasn't sure if I wanted to spend that much money, and it kind of just got away from me, and I was like, maybe I'll just wait until their next launch. But then something else happened. And that something else is that I was browsing at Urban Outfitters and I typed in vegan to see if maybe they had like vegan shoes or something. And then the vegan makeup products are coming up and I'm like, yeah, okay. And I'm scrolling and they had Kaleidos. And Urban was having a 20% off sale. So I got the Escape Pod palette and one of their lip clays in the shade Dune. And they were both 20% off and free shipping. So that was awesome. I did order one other thing. I had ordered one of the eyeliners. It was the blue one, the Sea Sparkle, which isn't a multi-chrome, but just looks like so beautiful and shimmery. And that item was canceled, I guess, because they didn't have the stock of it. So that was kind of disappointing. But I am really excited to have this palette and to have it for a price that I was happy to pay. And I actually had store credit, so I kind of didn't even pay anything. Here's what it looks like. I'm sure if you care, you've seen this before because this has been out for so long, but it's the first time I've had it in my hands. I think the packaging is really weird. I expected it to be clunky, and in fact, I remember hearing it used to be even more clunky and then they slimmed down the packaging, so I'm assuming this is the slimmed down packaging. But it's really weird, and this like connector part here is like straight up paper. Like when I first took it out, I thought that this is like a secondary box and then this part like comes out of the box. But then I realized like this is just the packaging. So I don't know, kind of weird, but it looks really pretty. I haven't touched a single one yet. I did try on the lipstick, but I haven't touched any of the eyeshadow. So we're just gonna do a good old-fashioned trying it out, making a look, seeing what my first impressions are. I'm really excited about it. I zoomed you in a little bit. We're gonna start with some swatches, but I'm just gonna say thoughts as they come up. And my first thought is that even as I have this balancing on my knee, it like won't stay open that nicely. Of course now it is, but like maybe if it's like, yeah, even slightly angled down, you can't like push it back any more than this, so it closes really easily. So that seems kind of annoying that like even sitting out on your desk or wherever you do makeup, it might be closing itself because it won't stay open on my knee. Ooh, that feels really soft, that matte. Ooh, I like the feel of these. Okay, I'm gonna swatch the last matte on this side because I kind of made my spacing weird, but that one really should be there, and then I'm just gonna continue like it's normal under that. No one's here for good swatches though. Those shimmers look pretty. Ooh. Cool. You know, there's a lot swatches can't tell you, of course, but these swatches so far are saying that these are pigmented shadows and they're really soft. The shimmers look shimmery. The mattes were all one swipe, as you saw. I'm really excited about this. One of the reasons I've been going back and forth so long is because I felt like the ship had kind of sailed for me when it came to this palette, and maybe I should just wait and see what else they come out with. And then all of a sudden they stopped releasing big palettes. And this color story is pretty good for me. I really like pinks and purples. I like the assortment of shimmers. I like that it has some neutral touches to it, although I could use this shade being a little bit more like neutral or warm. It's a little bit of like a weird yellowy cool transition. But my thought was, I don't know how much better for me the color story is gonna get than this. I zoomed you in even more and I put eye primer on. I'm realizing looking at these swatches after I said all that about this brown, that this shade here looks very much like a bone colored shade in the pan, but I think it might have enough pigment to kind of act as a transition for me. So I might try that. And then my other line of thought is that I have a couple options for how I could go. I could do a look that's closer to something that I would realistically do on a daily basis with this, or I could do something super colorful, try to get as many shades as possible on, but I feel like if I do that, I won't be judging the palette as well because I'll be doing something with it that I don't plan to continue doing. So maybe I'll try to like toe the line a little bit, go a little bit more than I normally do. Often I will just do like a transition and a beautiful shimmer all over the lid. So I'll try to do a little bit more than that, but still like keep it back enough that it's realistic for me. So let me try that shade that I don't know if will be a transition. And actually it's picking up pretty well on my brush. This might be a lot. Okay. Yeah, it does look very powdery, but I could tell that I picked up probably more than I would normally. Opening the palette again because it closed after I stuck my brush in the first time. Yeah, a little bit lighter than my ideal transition would be, but it is something. It's usable, and I could see that next kind of like weird shade being something to slightly deepen this with a little bit more, even though I'm not going to go down that route today. I think I'm going to do Mardi Gras, which is the purple, and do that on like my outer V. You hear the squeak? That's kind of annoying. Yeah, a lot picks up on the brush. I'm kind of kicking it off. Okay. I'm not getting like blends itself vibes from this yet, but I do like that the color kind of stayed concentrated right where I put it, and really minor fallout. From there, I'm going to go into this Cosmic Cabaret, which looks like a much more pigmented shimmer. Like these three look a bit more like sheer. Maybe this one also. And I think these two, but especially this one, look very intense. I'm just going to pick that up with my finger, as I tend to do for shimmers. Okay, cute. It does feel pretty like thin once I get it on my finger. It definitely has enough to it to like show up nicely. Yeah, I don't feel like this is anything to like write home about, but it's doing what I needed to do. And then perhaps I'll fill in that inner spot with this middle one, which is Space Oasis. Oh, that's really cute. It's a different tone of purple. I think those two outer ones are definitely more warm purples, and this is more of a cool purple, but it's still a cute little look together. Yeah, cute. Okay, I'm gonna put on the rest of my makeup and then we'll come back for the lower lash line. Okay, cute. For the lower lash line, realistically, I would probably continue this down a little bit more, but I do want to try some more shadows. So do we go pink or do we go green? Can we do both? Like, why not, right? Yeah, why not? So I'm gonna use Flamingo, the matte hot pink, use that on the outer edge. It is nice that it's able to stay so pigmented with minimal fallout. I mean, it is a little something. Unless that's from the purple before. You know, my lamp back there that I usually put my makeup on with is out right now. And I haven't replaced the light bulb yet. So I did my whole base in the dark. So like, I totally forgot to focus on any fallout I had from the purple. All right, so let's take a close look at that eye. Okay, definitely some fallout from this. But still, pretty nicely pigmented. Okay, there's that. I think that looks cute. Yeah, I like it. I think sometimes when I do a matte on the lower lash line, it can easily look like too harsh or like gets too blown out quickly and does like a weird shape out there. But I feel like this flows. I think I'm gonna do this darker green here. Saturnalia? What a name. This is going to be my first time picking up a shimmer on a brush. I wonder if this is going to be a formula that I like how it picks up on the brush, because that picked up really nicely. Not super intense when I put it down, but nice, controlled, enough. I've had shimmers that I pick up with the brush and like 2 sparkles go down. So that works. And maybe it's good for the look too that it's not like too distinctly green on the bottom. Okay. I'm not obsessed with it, but like it's okay. Then I need an inner corner. I think I'm just going to continue with more of that same lavender shimmer from before. It doesn't seem quite as textured when I pick it up on the brush as the green one did. Oh, but that does apply nicely. Okay, cool. I'm gonna do the finishing touches. We'll come back. We'll talk about thoughts about it. We'll put the lipstick on also. Yeah. Okay, here's the finished eye look. I'm just gonna put on my lips and then we'll talk about it. So I got the shade Dune. I was going back and forth between Dune and Nude, and I honestly can't remember what set me over the edge of Dune, but something did. And based on trying it yesterday, I'm happy with the color I got. And I could possibly imagine myself getting Bare in the future. Something that I do like is that they have, it seems like in every collection there's a different color of the packaging. So there'll be like 4 that are the same color, but they'll be a different color than past collections. So Bare, I believe, is in like more of a purple tube. So I'm not opposed to having more of them. I'm not a fan of having multiple lipsticks that look exactly the same. It's just like a little bit more mental work than I want to do when I put on lipstick. But different colors, cool. I mean, I haven't decided yet if I like the formula enough to buy more, but let's just get into it. So here is the doe foot. It's that kind of like circular doe foot with like a little dip in the center. Based on using this yesterday, my biggest complaint is it doesn't have enough of like an edge to easily apply and get like a smooth lip line with. I hope I sped that way up for you because that took a little while. I often don't wear lip liners with things. I often feel like with a liquid lipstick or something like that, I can just do like a one swipe on the top, a little bit to fill it in, and I'm good. Like I'm not someone that I think of myself as struggling with getting a clean line, but I just think something about the shape of the doe foot makes it really difficult to get a clean line. And even this, I think my upper lip is kind of lacking. I think I need more. Perhaps the solution is just going in with a lip liner first, getting your outside and then just filling it in, and then you don't have to worry as much about getting a clean edge. And sometimes I do use lip liners in conjunction with lipsticks, but I just don't like the idea of like needing to. And then also I feel like most lip liners will alter the shade of the lipstick. And I do like the color of this. A perk is that it is like a nice, comfortable, like whipped liquid lipstick formula that doesn't seem to quite dry down. So it does move around pretty easily while you're taking a while to get the lip line. But that being a benefit for it taking a while isn't really like a big plus for me, because if it didn't like have the problem to begin with, it wouldn't need the right formula to mitigate the problem, you know? Like it doesn't make me feel better about having it take a while, but just saying, as opposed to a dry liquid lipstick that you really can't go over the same spot a bunch of times, this one you can, and it does just kind of evenly spread out and disperse. I like the color of this. I feel like it's like a brick rose. Like there's something warm about it, and there's also something a little bit like orangey about it. And in fact, yesterday when I had it on with a very neutral eye, I feel like it looked different than it does today. But I do like it. It's like a neutral for me, but with a little pop. I haven't worn it all day yet. When I put it on yesterday, I had it on for like a half hour or something. So I don't know how it wears, but my first impression is I do like it. I don't love it. It kind of feels like a really thick application of a really thick lip balm. Like you just feel waxes on your lips that don't want to move around. So although I started this segment talking about like maybe wanting to buy more colors because of the packaging, at this point I really don't know if I want to buy more options in this same formula. I get why people like them, But for me, the application thing is a huge negative, and time will tell how using it with a lip liner or learning to get a clean line with the doe foot kind of works for me in day-to-day use, or if I end up just not reaching for it. Okay, so now on to the eyes. I used 6 shadows for this. I don't love it. I think there's a couple factors going on. I think that the look itself is a bit more colorful than I tend to go for on an everyday basis recently, so it just doesn't feel like a very me look. And actually maybe that is the biggest thing, come to think of it. Because if I saw someone else wearing it, I'd be like, oh, this is cute, but it's just for me, I would feel more confident right now in like one of my indie single shades all over my eye, a beautiful peachy transition, and maybe one of my menagerie bright mattes on my lower lash line with one of my favorite shades on the inner corner. But then also part of me is like, okay, what did I expect? Because I think if I had asked myself this before I bought the palette or used the palette, I knew I wasn't going to get something that I don't already have in my collection. I knew it wasn't going to give me a look that is impossible for me to make, and that was one of the draws about it. That was one of the things that made it a me palette, is because I already have and like those shades. So the advantage to me of this palette is having shades like that together. But my first look, I don't necessarily like these shades together, which then makes me wonder if buying palettes just like isn't for me anymore, because the shadows that I already have are so spectacular and don't steer me in a direction which is a look that I wouldn't do otherwise, you know? I think overall, I am happy that I got this. I'm happy I tried it because I've been curious about Kaleidos' formula for so long, and I've been hearing people rave about this palette for so long, and it wasn't just going to like end my curiosity. So I was able to get it for a price I was comfortable with. I think I might feel more negatively if I had spent full price on it, spent $10 on shipping, waited weeks for it to ship from China. The fact that like I saw it and then like 3 days later for like 35 bucks in store credit, it was in my hands, I feel very happy about that. In fact, I feel like right now the thing that I like least is the squeaking and the fact that it won't like just easily stay open unless it's like at a completely flat angle. You know? I am curious to see how I get on with it. I see promise in it. I liked the feel of the mattes. I liked the feel of the shimmers. I don't think that this look is giving me a more shimmery look than what I would get with my indie single shadows, but I could imagine that people that are raving about it, or at least some people, are people that aren't in the world of indie single shadows, and this is like the sparkliest it's gotten for them. I know it's boring, but I am really excited about Starlight Sonata. I feel like that all over my eyes is gonna be like a really pretty kind of like sexy nighttime look. And also I'm really excited about Exoplanet. I feel like it's a really pretty kind of like periwinkle going on there. Sometimes I'm insecure about my conclusions because I don't know if I like said enough information. I feel like I was just like, ugh. But that's how I feel. I'm excited to use it more. I'm excited to finally put this saga to rest and to own it. I'm excited that it looks so cute and I have the privilege of looking at it and knowing that I own it. But if we take the product out of it and just talk about the eyes, I think it's okay. And it's something that I'm not going to be recreating. But perhaps I'll do a look with my Starlight Sonata all over my eyes and Exoplanet on the lower lash line or something. And maybe that'll be like my new summer jam. I don't know. Possibilities are still endless. I don't dislike this. I'm just not super hyped about it. And I feel like that's okay. I hope this was interesting. I hope it was helpful or entertaining. If you enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And there's always more makeup content on the way. If you've tried Kaleidos, I would love to hear your experience as well. And I'll definitely keep you in the loop in future videos about how I do continue to get on with this palette, if I end up loving it, if I end up feeling like about it. But yeah, that's gonna be everything. Thank you so much for being here. Bye.